Hey everyone, welcome back. You know how much we value giving our kids every advantage, right? Like we're all about those extra math drills, those vocabulary lists, all that good stuff.
Right.
But lately, I've been thinking a lot about the confidence piece. It's like you can have all the skills in the world, but if you don't believe in yourself, it's like, what's the point? So
It's huge.
today, we are diving into some seriously awesome expert tips to help boost our kids' confidence at school. Like practical stuff we can
Interesting. Yeah.
actually use, not just some vague good job kind of thing. Get ready, because this is about to get good.
Well, and what's so interesting here is that the experts are really zeroing in on this idea of mindset. Because honestly, a child's experience at school, it really does come down to how they're thinking about their abilities. So tip number one, right out of the gate, encouraging what's called a growth mindset.
Okay, I've heard this term growth mindset, but sometimes it feels a bit, I don't know, buzzwordy. Like, what does it actually mean for our kids day to day?
I hear you. It's one of those things that sounds kind of simple on the surface, right?
Yeah.
But it's actually really powerful. So it's the difference between a child believing their abilities are fixed, like I'm just bad at math, versus believing they can improve with effort.
Okay, so it's not just about telling them, oh, you can do it, you're a rock star. It's about instilling that belief that they can actually grow and learn.
100%. And even more than that, it's teaching them that setbacks and mistakes, those aren't failures. Those are actually opportunities for learning and growth.
That's so important. I think as parents, we often jump in to fix things or make things easier, but maybe sometimes it's better to help them see those tough moments as chances to learn how to, I don't know, problem solve or bounce back.
Exactly. And it builds that resilience,
Yeah,
and that's where true confidence comes from.
totally. Now, I've got to say, I'm a big fan of celebrating the wins, no matter how small. Which brings us to tip number 2, because it's not just about the big award ceremonies. It's about noticing and celebrating all those little achievements along the way. Am I right?
You are so right. And it ties directly into this idea of building confidence. Because when kids see that we're paying attention to their efforts, that we're acknowledging their progress, even in small ways, it reinforces that feeling of, hey, I'm on the right track.
It's like, we see you, we see your effort, and that matters. Instead of just a pat on the back, it's about being specific.
Yes. Specific and genuine. Like instead of just saying, good job, you could say, wow, I'm so impressed with how you kept trying different strategies until you figured out that math problem. That
Yeah.
takes real perseverance.
And that's gold, right? Because it's not just empty praise.
Right.
It's tied to something specific they did, which makes it so much more meaningful. Now, I'm curious about this next one. Tip number 3, support their interests. And I've got to say, this one's close to my heart because I really do think that letting kids dive into those things that light them up, even if it's not directly related to school, can be incredibly powerful for their confidence.
Absolutely. And, it makes sense, right? When kids are engaged in activities they genuinely enjoy,
Yep.
they're more likely to stick with them, they're more likely to put in the effort, and that leads to a sense of competence and mastery.
Totally. It's like they get that feeling of, I can do this, and that feeling that I can do this energy. It doesn't just stay compartmentalized, right? It spills over into other areas of their lives.
100%. It's like this ripple effect. So if your child is struggling with, say, writing, but they're super passionate about building things, maybe encourage them to write a story about one of their creations.
Such a good idea. Now, tip number 4, teaching self-advocacy. And guys, in today's world, this one feels non-negotiable, right?
Oh, absolutely. Because we can't always be there to fight their battles or speak for them.
Right. And we don't want to.
Exactly. So it's about giving them the tools and the confidence to communicate their needs effectively.
So it's about teaching them how to speak up for themselves, how to ask for help when they need it.
Yes. And not just to ask for help, but to express their opinions, to share their ideas, even if those ideas are different.
And that takes practice, right? Because it can be intimidating for kids to speak up, especially in a classroom setting.
It can. But that's where we come in, right? We can help them practice these skills in a safe environment, like role-playing different scenarios.
Oh, I love that. It's like giving them a script
Yeah.
before they have to go live on stage. So last but not least, tip number 5, positive reinforcement. Now, I got to be honest, sometimes this one makes me roll my eyes a little because it seems so obvious.
Right.
But I have a feeling there's more to it than just showering them with generic compliments, right?
You are 100% right. It's not just about saying good job or you're so smart. It's about being specific, genuine, and really tuning in to what makes your child tick.
Okay, so walk us through this. What does this look like in action?
So imagine your child comes home with a project they've been working on. Instead of just a general, it's great, you might say something like, wow, I can tell you put a lot of thought into choosing those colors. They really make your artwork pop.
Right. So it's about connecting with them on a deeper level, showing them that you're really paying attention.
Absolutely. And, here's the thing. Building confidence is not a one-time thing, right? It's an ongoing process.
It's like a muscle
It is.
that needs to be exercised regularly. So to recap, our 5 tips for boosting our kids' school confidence are encouraging a growth mindset, celebrating all those wins, big and small, supporting their passions, teaching them to use their voice and advocate for themselves.
Yes.
And, of course, that positive reinforcement, but making it count.
Make it count. I love that. Because at the end of the day, it's about equipping our kids with the tools and the belief in themselves to thrive in all areas of their lives.
So well said. And you know what? This conversation has reminded me that we're all on this journey together. So let's be kind to ourselves, be kind to our kids.
That's
Remember,
good. Yes.
every step, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. This has been amazing. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
My pleasure, always.
Until next time, everyone, keep those conversations going.